And we want to get a better understanding of tariffs, how it could impact our region, and what you will see at home. So joining me now is University of Tampa Associate Professor of Economics, Abigail Hall Blanco. Thank you so much for joining us, but let's start with the basics. What is a tariff?
So a tariff, very simply, is a tax. More specifically, it's a tax on foreign goods, implemented typically at with the idea of helping domestic producers at the expense of foreign producers.
And so what does that mean for people at home?
So at home, higher tariffs very simply mean higher prices for a lot of goods and services, particularly for things like electronics. In the holiday season, when we're talking about things like toys and video games, tariffs hit those industries particularly hard.
Yeah, and so why do countries do this? Why do they impose tariffs?
So there are a few different reasons that countries typically will impose tariffs. Oftentimes it's considerations or under the idea that it's going to create or protect American jobs. Sometimes people make arguments that it's necessary for national security, or there are positive spillover effects associated with tariffs.
And so what are the economic implications of a tariff for the nation, our region, and for people at home?
So with any policy, there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers. The industries that wind up being protected from foreign competition, those we would typically think about as being the winning industries. And certainly they do benefit. But on net, tariffs, economists largely agree that tariffs are a net economic loss. Consumers lose, foreign producers lose. And for Tampa Bay, given our exporting industries, a reduction in exports or reduction in imports could hit us domestically really hard.
And now I want you to take a look at this because Trump named his transition co-chair and Wall Street executive Howard Lutnick to lead the Department of Commerce. Now, in a statement announcing the pick, Trump says Lutnick will, quote, lead our tariff and trade agenda with additional direct responsibility for the Office of the United States Trade Representative. Now, how will that role impact the Bay Area, especially the port, or the nation in general?
So Lutnick as a pick is particularly interesting. He was a Trump supporter throughout the last several years, raised campaign funds significantly for Trump. It's anticipated that he's going to work to try to implement and has been a big proponent of really heavy tariffs, particularly in China. And so one of the things to keep in mind is that the higher the tariffs, the lower the imports, the more expensive the goods and services you're going to be buying.
And retail and manufacturing companies are ramping up imports to the U.S., fearing increased tariffs. However, experts stress we won't know the impacts of any tariffs until Trump is actually in office. So why would businesses take this route before the next administration?
Well, if businesses are anticipating that the goods that they use in their production are going to be more expensive as the result of tariffs, they're going to try to bring them in before those tariffs are implemented. So this is really sending a signal that businesses are not only thinking that Trump will enact these tariffs, but are also anticipating that it's not going to be good for their businesses.
And of course, there is national inflation, but why can that be different from certain regions in the U.S.? I always had a question about this because, of course, there's a national inflation, but certain regions and maybe certain states, the inflation rate is different. Is that so?
Sure. So inflation we can think about as the overall level of prices. So not just the price of one good or service, but the price of many goods and services rising all at the same time. And since the United States is different, we're not all the same. Our different regions have different populations, people moving in, people moving out. Those inflationary pressures can look different. They can also look different in terms of what's being produced and what's being bought or sold in a particular geographic area.
So on the whole, people at home, if these tariffs are imposed on Chinese goods, let's say 60%, that means people will pay more.
It means you're going to pay more. And I know that for a lot of people, it sounds like a good idea, but this is one area, one of the very few areas where economists roundly agree that this is not a good economic move.
And so what does that mean for China, though? Will they stop, sort of exporting goods over here? Or will businesses say, hey, we don't need the goods from you anymore because it's so expensive?
So it depends. So we would likely see a reduction in imports from China and from other countries on which these tariffs are being imposed. The other thing that people might not consider is that the U.S. also exports a lot of goods. And so to the extent that China or other countries who are subjected to tariffs import goods from the United States, they can retaliate, which also harms businesses on the back end of these policies.
A trade war?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, and I'm already broke. I don't have money to pay more, so what should I do? Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it.